Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Nashville, Tennessee, where we are getting ready and getting set for the Music City 160 here at Nashville Super Speedway. My name's Trevor McNeil. Alongside me is Carlos Acosta for tonight as we get ready for 160 miles on this, well, what seems like a pretty short super speedway, just over a mile, as we are just about halfway through qualifying as it stands right now. You see the weather conditions that we have. Pretty strong winds, overcast skies, going to keep these track temperatures down for at least a little bit. But once things start to heat up on the track, I imagine these drivers are going to be heating up as well. Carlos, coming into tonight's race, is there anything that you've seen so far through practice, through qualifying, that we can keep an eye on here?
Well, we got a lot of drivers that are out here putting in really fast laps here. It's a very tight competitive field, from what I can tell. But you know, it's a little different from the last couple of tracks we've been at, where you know, much smaller. This is the first, I guess, technically super speedway. That's what it's called. Excuse me, speedway. No, it is super speedway. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I had a little blank there. So it's a nice change of pace. You're going to be seeing hopefully less issues. Not that we've been riddled with issues, but less issues, less contact, and just a little more spread out racing. Give the drivers a chance to breathe. Speaking of breathing, let's take a look at the current point standings going into this week. I have it pulled up right here.
Yep, top of the list. Daniel Gore, 347 right there above Ryan Gavel, who was sitting atop for most of the season last year. So new champion up there right now for the time being in Daniel Gore, but pretty close race there up between those top three drivers. But of course, lots of things have happened. Lots of crazy things have happened. Some drivers have had their bad halves where they didn't quite get any finish that they were looking for because of some of these contacts that we've had. These last few races we've had, as you mentioned, the tracks that we've been at have been and induced a lot of chaos, both on the track and in the standings as well. But we've seen a lot of consistency out of some of these teams here. Redux Racing sitting on top for the team standings right now at 626, and lurking behind Shift Esports at 610. So very close still competition here across the point standings, both for drivers and for teams. And I'd like to say that the broadcasters' points are also close, but hey, you know what? Not everything can be a close race, and I'm feeling pretty good about where I'm sitting right now up top.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool if you dropped down a little bit. You and Vic.
No. Counterpoint.
Well,
that's my entire argument.
I don't know if Vic is he's a little under the weather. Let's see, Vic, are you good to cover this area? All right,
I'm ready. Carlos, you'll be up first because I don't have picks from Cherry or Jeremy. So
I love that.
Oh well, it's a better chance for me to finish top three. All right, my driver that I'm picking, both being one of my drivers that on my own team, and the driver I am picking has had really bad luck. Isn't able to put together two solid halves. However, I have a feeling Cooper Johnson this week will be the first time he gets two top tens.
Sucks.
you know what's great is that I had him for like my third pick if I needed. So thanks for not taking him, or not taking the pick that I want. I'm gonna go with somebody that you guys don't know. Well, Carlos, you do know, but Trevor, you don't. I'm gonna go with making his league debut tonight. I'm gonna go with the number 1 car of David Tooker.
Oh,
That's good times.
Who you got, Trevor?
Fast times up there, David Tooker. It's a good pick. I wanted to go with Cooper Johnson because I liked what I was seeing, and I like the consistency we're seeing from the 91 running up front the last few weeks quite often. I'm actually going to go with another one of the same taste in that one, and that's going to be the 65 of Noah Brown. Can I do that?
You can.
Absolutely. Yeah. I
why
like
you
what
do
I've
that
seen.
yourself.
Don't worry about that. I just like what I've been seeing out of that team over there, and I got a good feeling.
all right. Well, that's gonna do it for the first half of the Bings Designs Broadcasters Championship. I want to give a massive thank you to the Weekend Woodsmen for coming back to sponsor the series once again. They have a video they wanted us to play. We'll be right back after this message.
Be sure to check out Tim Mayo Conrad and the Weekend Woodsman crew on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like button to get notifications when a new video drops, and check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Enjoy the race.
We're back.
We get the grid set up, ready to go. Qualifying is coming to a close here at Nashville Super Speedway for the Music City 160. Again, big shout out there to the Weekend Woodsmen, as well as Binks Designs for getting us to where we are here today and what we're looking forward to here in this Super Speedway. Of course, the brief coverage of our format tonight. We do have 2 halves, 60 laps each, that we're going to have a 24-car invert at the conclusion of it. So looking for what these drivers are going to do. They are going to have to make pit stops. They do have 2 sets of tires in the pits if they need them. And we know that when it comes down to it, those tires are going to make a huge difference, makes a significant change in the time intervals that you're running from lap to lap. So we'll get the grid squared away as we take a look here. Starting off on the pole is Ethan Burrell with a 29.830. Of course, David Tooker in that number 2 spot. That was Vic's pick. Running third, Matt Grunberg alongside Cooper Johnson there on the 3rd and 4th in the 2nd row. Back one more, Darren Stout in the 45, as well as Dylan Gooden there in 6th place. Next row up, we do have Joe Francis in the 99 as well, and alongside Ty McIntosh. We'll see if the Sith Lord is back tonight there, starting in 8th position. Right behind them, the Canuck, James Miller in that 09, running a 30 flat, alongside Zach Evans in the Binks Designs machine of the number 6. Dylan Thomas in 11th place right there, alongside of Daniel Gore, who is our current points leader, starting in 12th place. Ray Bracey right behind there in 13th in that 7 Bojo car, alongside of Dustin Dewar in the 32. Caden Tuss following up in 15th in the double zeros. Of course, David Westerine in that 9 car, the Bite Size Sports, in 16th. Next row back, Noah Brown, my pick, out of 17th. Got a ways to go, got some ground to make up, but looking forward to see what these guys are going to be able to do alongside of Dallas Mahan. Kyda Jones starting out there in 19th, alongside Dave Carpenter here. And you see, as we go down this list, these intervals are not changing a lot. Carlos said it. A lot of these drivers running very close times. It's going to be a very good race tonight. Starting 21st is Alex Ken alongside Daniel Aguirre. Santiago Aguirre there in the 88. Starting 23rd, James Watson alongside Jesse Cottrell. Moving back one more to Jake Scarborough running the 77 here tonight, starting in 25th place alongside Thomas Capuano in 26th. Adam Peeler, 27 in 27th. Rashid Cole's posted up no time there. It's going to be 28th. We'll see if they did put up a practice time there for Rashid Coles and Tim Conrad. Didn't have a qualifying time, though. So starting 28th, 29th. And then last but not least, Neil Rutt, if they do end up joining there, will be rounding out the field. So 30 cars here potentially in this pack as we get gridded up, ready to go, take the warm-up laps. And is there anything surprising you out of this lineup that we see from the grid here, Carlos?
I mean, usually we don't see the number 44 qualifying this high up, but they have a relief driver, number Ethan Burrell, won half one a couple of weeks ago, so it's normal considering it's Ethan driving this car.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of, for whatever reason, it's the year of Ethans. We've had a lot of Ethan success, so we'll see if that is going to translate here. Qualifying on the pole position, put up a 29.8 in practice, a 29.830 on the qualification as we get in, and the green flag has dropped for the Music City 160, and we are underway here coming into turn number 1. We'll see if Ethan can hold on to that lead, or if that one car on the outside is going to be able to take over that one. Of course, that'd be typically Ryan Gavel driving that one, but David Tooker has taken over tonight and will fall in line, and we'll see just how crazy, how chaotic these guys are going to get here. Turn 3 and 4 has been the biggest challenge for a lot of these guys. There is a little bit of that bump right in the middle of the corner that likes to kick some of these drivers out to that outside wall a lot faster than you're expecting, but for the time being, everybody survives, everyone holds on. We get through the first lap without incident.
Yeah, mostly single file here for the first couple positions. 75 and the 09 were side by side, but the advantage goes to the 09 as he's going to make that pass there for 6th position. Behind him, though, the number 13 of Dylan Thomas and Ty McIntosh battling side by side.
Well, side by side there towards the middle of the field, but starting to get back into it. Everybody else single file. See if those are eventually going to. That is Ty McIntosh on the 10 on the outside lane, running through the middle of this corner. See if he can make it stick. Get something to clear coming out of that one. Can't, but does get alongside Dylan Thomas there in the 13th on the bumper there. Zach Evans going to try to make a nice dive down to the bottom line. See if he get the nose back underneath McIntosh coming out of the corner. Can't quite do so. Does get clear, so single file there, but then starting to double up right in front. Dylan Thomas alongside of Gooden on that low line. He's going to be able to get the bumper and clear coming out of this one, and we'll see if it gets picked off one more time. McIntosh can't quite get there yet, but clean pass there. On the backside, you see Zach Evans there in the 6, still running this low line, still trying to find this line to make it work here, and everybody is probably going to be running this low line for a while, but we'll see how long these drivers can make it stick before they completely wear through these tires. As we mentioned, is 60-lap half. We do have 2 sets of tires in the pits, and we'll see who is going to make their short pit strategies come to, because I heard some chatter amongst some of the radios that looking at about the halfway point, we might see some guys starting to come and opt into that pit lane. But Zach Evans there got a little squirrely, a little loose out of that one. Made a good save, kept her straight.
And you saw right there a little bit on the side of that number 10 machine. You have a small mini theme race here. This week's theme is wrestling. So the number 10, I think we only have 3 cars. The number 10 of Ty McIntosh got himself a Jey Uso scheme. You can see him on the quarter panel, and yeet, which is what he normally says. I've been told. Actually, I haven't really seen. I used to watch wrestling when I was younger, but I haven't really seen anything modern. One I have seen is the number 45, Darren Staff. He's got a 2006 championship winning Rey Mysterio scheme.
I respect that. Wrestling way outside of my wheelhouse. One of my best friends is all about it, knows everything about it, but way outside of my wheelhouse. But I do appreciate and always have gratitude for the guys that do week in and week out participate in these theme races, because they are very cool, and it's nice to see some of these guys changing up their paint schemes and flexing their creativity, if you will.
Got Darren Staff's onboard camera right now, as it looks like he had just finished eating a plate of something. So you have the plate right there in full view.
Gotta get those that pre-race snacks.
Right in front of him is my race pick, his teammate and my driver, Cooper Johnson, currently in 3rd place. Him and Darren have both moved up 1 spot from the start of the race. However, the top 2 positions are still the same: Ethan Burrell and David Zucker.
Still the same. On the left side here of Darren Staff, though, is side-by-side racing, as it looks like that 04 here is trying to find that line, get the nose underneath, try to take over that 4th position here from Darren, but can't quite get that one in, so we'll fall back in line temporarily. We'll see if any more action is going to come out of this, if they can drive it in hard enough here into this first corner. Nothing to come out of this yet. Single file racing pretty much across the board here. So everybody has settled into a groove. The 1 and the 44 are bumper to bumper up front. Aaron is going to dive low here, trying to make a pass on to Cooper Johnson in front of there, and does do so. So the 45 does move up into 3rd place past Cooper Johnson. And will be on the hunt for one more position in front, but seems like everybody for the time is pretty confident, pretty comfortable where they're sitting right now on board Cooper Johnson in this 3-wide TV machine of the 91. Looking at the back bumper of Darren Staff right now. Just ahead of them, 1st place, 2nd place is Ethan Burrell and Mr. Tucker in the number 1 here tonight. 10 laps full, 10 laps complete. Lap 11 here without incident so far. Everybody has kept pretty calm here until that. We've got a little bit of aggressive move down on the low side. Darren is going to try to make this one and make this pass to sit in 2nd place. It's going to push the 1 car out of line and off of the preferred line through the corner. It comes out side by side, coming across the start-finish line. Does have that position for the time being. 45 in 2nd place. Cooper Johnson trying to tuck in and go along with him, but can't quite get to the bumper. He's going to make this pass, but does get turned on. Hard contact going into 1 and 2. Caution is out, and that is a tough break there for Staff. Thought he was clear, was not quite there. Door bumper not clear. Into the wall, and that is almost assuredly going to be the end of the half for him.
Booyaka, booyaka. Caution comes out here on lap 12, going into lap 13. Ethan Burrell, Cooper Johnson, David Tucker. Let's see if we can bring out the replay. If you're the team owner, you may want to look away, as this was not a pretty sight.
coming out of the corner through 1 and 2. Take a look to see exactly how this one went.
It's
Yeah, just
up right there, just
tried.
slightly.
Yep, tried to close it, tried to just pinch it off there coming out of the corner, and unfortunately just the nose was just there enough. It took her, got him turned into the wall. Take it looking slow-mo. It's just
I mean, heavy
immense amount of
netcode because the
pain
car's
here.
already turning there.
Yeah,
That's
a
a
tough
netcode
one.
issue. I don't even think they would have made contact. Yeah, I think Darren was coming up slightly, but I don't think there was going to be contact there. Is
Ooh.
Collects
Collects a 99 as well.
Oh yeah, 99 got hit hard. Let's go on board with Joe Francis and 99 machine. Let's go at full speed.
Really
think
from the
Darren may have
the
gotten
slide
loose.
and boom. Yeah. Dylan Thomas in the mix as well. James Miller looks like got wrapped up in that one. See a couple other cars on the grass here. Wrong place, wrong
that's my
time.
hand. Oh, and there's the
And
third.
here in the back.
There's the third wrestling scheme, Joe Hendry. Themed number 21. He's got his Joe's face on the hood. There's Dennis didn't get involved in that. He just came to a stop, which is what triggered him on my end getting a possible incident tag.
Pretty big check up there through the middle of the pack, so tried not to get as many cars collected as they could, but whilst we're in the replays, a lot of cars hit pit road here.
Everyone did, except for one feller, and number 32, Dustin Dewar. Only driver to
With
stay out.
himself
So,
up
fun
there
fact,
to the front.
these drivers have 2 sets of tires for each half on pit road. So 3 sets total for each half, 2 in pit road. The drivers that came in now, I see a mix. Mostly, I see a lot of drivers with 14, 15, 13 second pit stops. I'm assuming they took 4 fresh tires and full fuel. But I do see a couple drivers that when they went down, they either have 6 seconds or 9 seconds or somewhere in between. I'm assuming that's either fuel only or they're taking right side tires. So some of these drivers, like Kynan Jones and Noah Brown, who I'm assuming took fuel, and Dustin Dewar, who stayed out, they're going to try to save a set of tires for the end, because you do have to possibly pit one more time. Maybe. I don't know. I think it's like 44, 45 laps. It'll be really close.
Yep.
You could potentially save.
Certainly have the potential right now if they wanted to hold out for the rest of the first half here, but we'll see what the wear and tear on these tires looks like as well. Of course, then given the understanding that there wouldn't be a caution here for the remainder of this one, but if there is another caution, then you start to look at the strategy and who's going to opt into those tires and who's going to take the risk to stay on the old rubber. So we make our lap around here. Pace truck dives off Nashville Super Speedway, getting ready to go green one more time here. Dustin Dewar did not pit, will lead us to the green to hit that Geico restart zone. Good jump there. A little bit of spin there from the 73 on the outside line. Dustin Dewar will take off solo. Will not have any competition whatsoever. 65 and Noah Brown will slide into second place now. You see the pit cars right behind them. Ethan Burrell, the 44-1, and David Tooker, a little loosey-goosey back there coming around. Gotta get these tires warmed up here before you start getting a little crazy on the accelerators, but everybody survives. Everybody's holding on here through the first few corners. Make sure we get through one lap here. Green flag racing. We just got back looking like we're going 3 wide here across the start-finish line, but that door will be closed. We'll keep it 2. See side-by-side racing here through half of the field up front. There is Dustin Dewar, who's going to lose that position on the front. Looks like it is going to be, looks like 65 and Noah Brown is going to take over this position for the time being.
If you're Redux Racing, I really do recommend that you maybe fix where your sponsor placement is, because that right there is being blocked by the rookie strike.
Attention to detail. It's all in the schematics. Got to get this one. But Noah Brown is our new leader here, coming around on lap 18 to get
James
some points
Watson.
out of this one.
James Watson had a little issue going off track. Let's quickly pull that up while the drivers are still out there running. No caution so far. I haven't seen what could have been it, but he went off track for a while. Exiting off of 4. Comes down to avoid hitting the car on his outside, gets clipped in the quarter panel, sent through the grass. And he's starting his own lawn mowing company there.
Yep. Just making sure the landscaping crew has some job security, but kept it straight, kept most of the contact out of that one besides just the car that you ran into there off the beginning. But still up front, Noah Brown in the 65 machine holding on to the lead. But lurking behind is Ethan Burrell and David Tooker in the 44 and the 1, both on fresh tires here. Right behind Grunberg in the 04, as those three are back-to-back to back.
Noah Brown had a 9.5 second pit stop. I think it's safe to say that he maybe took right side tires, which would explain why he's able to hold out so well compared to some of the other guys like Dustin Dewar and Kynan Jones, who are now outside the top 10. So I think right side tires, at least with 14 or so laps for half number 2, better keep that in mind, because that is Noah Brown is holding his own right now, pulling away from Ethan Burrell of all people. Will it last a long time? I don't know, but for now, that right side tire call might, is looking really good.
Looking very strong here with about half a second lead over Ethan Burrell in the 44. We're single file racing here through at least the top 10. Start to get a little bit of the double wides. Starting to get there, looking like they might try to make a 3 wide coming across the start finish, but doesn't have the door open enough. So we'll keep it 2 wide to go single file down into the corner. That is good, and that's going to tuck in line there just in front of the 14 machine. Still holding on to position as they keep it clean coming through and down the back stretch. We'll dive low. 14's going to keep it up on the high side. That is 10th and 11th place that we're looking at right here. There's Alex Kenton up there trying to find the line and make a pass, try to find the angle. Does have him side by side now coming into turn number 1. Gooden can make it stick on the bottom lane. Try to get clear coming out of 2, but we'll have Kenton on the door coming around. Kenton will try to clear and does do so. Now you have another taker on the high side. Is it the 77 or the 27 there?
I think it's the 77.
77.
Jake Scarborough.
Jake Scarborough, yep.
Yeah, 77 has a new team, new ride this week. Let me see if I can pull him on up. Him and Shift Esports parted ways after last week's race, and now has joined Redux Racing as another charter vehicle.
Yeah.
3Y TV still appears to be on board. That's actually nice. I haven't seen the 3Y TV background kind of shifted green. I like it. It's nice. It's not going to change, but I like it. That's nice.
Looks good.
New team, new ride for Jake Scarborough, and in a Toyota now. So we'll see. It looks like he's adjusting fairly well. Currently in 11th, but still only half one, race 1. Still plenty of time for him to move up. Actually, he's the biggest mover so far. Aside from Noah Brown, he's up 14 spots compared to Noah Brown's plus 16.
Yeah, Scarborough was doing such a great job last week, running up towards the front. Obviously, we saw the incident that happened. If you didn't, I strongly recommend you go back, watch the VOD, and see what came out of that one. Also, would recommend listening to the interviews, because that'll tell you a lot about what happened there on the backside of that event and why we might be seeing Jake Scarborough under a new banner here this week, because things got a little juicy, a little dicey here in the OSCA Weekend Woodsman Series. And yeah, could not recommend it enough. If you have the time, go back and watch it and listen to those interviews, because the drama is there. So looking to see what these storylines develop, if anything's going to come out of that one, not only from the rivalry that potentially would have come out of that one, but also maybe some bad blood that we saw on the back end of it. But looking at 3Y TV multicam, you see the cars up front here. Cooper Johnson there in the 91 on the blue 3Y TV. Behind Ty McIntosh, James Miller in that 09, who did get a little scuffed up there on that first incident that brought out the caution flag, but still running in the mix here, running top 10. Cooper Johnson there is the bookend of the top 5. There is 6th place Ty McIntosh there. But front runners all here, single file, down the lane, down the line. The first one out of line is Zach Evans in the 6th. In 8th place, who starts to dip a little bit lower than everybody else, but still maintains the single file for the most part. As we wait for the next action to come through. Coming up on the halfway point, we only had that singular incident. Zach Evans is, again, that side-by-side with Daniel Gore there, our current points leader. He does clear there pretty easily, pretty handily. So Zach Evans lost a little bit of speed out of that one. We know his car was loose earlier. Might be having a little bit of handling issues as well, as he's lost a little bit of momentum and lost the 69 to Daniel Gore. And you see the interval closing now. The backside of Alex Kenton on the 14 is going to be lurking behind. He's still up one from where he started, but looked at the 30-second interval, or the 30-second times that we saw from a lot of these guys from practice, from qualifying. Some even breaking up into the 29s, but with some laps on these tires, you start to dip, you start to lose at least 3/4 to a second and a half on older tires, and that's why things start to get real interesting, especially if we have green flag racing the rest of the way, or if we get another caution, who's going to opt in for those tires and for that speed. For the time being, everybody comfortable and happy where they're at.
All right, let's take a look at some of the drivers who took no tires, or potentially 2 tires are at. Well, 2 tires, Noah Brown, still leading this race. The lead has shrunk a little bit because Ethan Burrell's gunning him down. Not every single lap, but he's catching up slowly. I think it's only going to be a couple laps before before Burrow is able to go and pass Noah Brown. Then the rest of the top 17 all have gone down pit road for what I'm assuming is 4 fresh tires. The only oddity is 13th place Dylan Thomas, who was there for 24 seconds. Everybody else is 14 to 15 seconds. So potentially Dylan maybe took no tires and just repaired damage, but I don't believe that, as we have a battle for the lead here going on.
Finally, the 44 gets to the back bumper of Noah Brown. Is going to go low to try to take this lead back. They've been running pretty similar times, a 1/10 of a second here and there, given one way or the other. So both of them running similar times. Are not surprising at all to see them door to door now, going through 3 and 4. The caution is out. Yellow flag has waved.
Oh, no.
Let's see what the incident was. That is the 14 of Kenton that is sideways in the corner. Let's see where this is going to stack up the leaders, too. See what happened out of that one. Once we get 3-wide TV replay, we'll see what the 14 was. I know it was running right about 10th place, and all of a sudden just lost it there. Got into the side of the 77 of Jake Scarborough, and then got sent up into the wall, went sideways. Way to hold the brakes and hold that car in line, not to go down the track and collect anybody else. But the 77 gets collected in that one. Certainly will have something to look for. Yep. Little bump coming out of the corner, and then just sent him around.
77 may not have been too happy with that shove to the wall.
Oh,
but
no.
that being said, it could just have been coming off the wall, just made contact with the 14. But Kenton got a little nudge, I think he got a little nudge. Well, I mean, for sure there was contact. I don't know if the 14 maybe got loose exiting the corner, or if he or if the contact initially got him loose, but ended up overcorrecting into the 77 Jake Scarborough. Everyone is down pit road right now.
Got a lot of cars here, including the entirety of the lead pack. We'll see what the strategy will be as we're over the halfway point. Is how much of these guys got to take full tires? How well are we going to see these guys with on the right sides? We saw Noah Brown take right sides and was able to hold up front there for the first place for quite a while. We already start to see some of these cars coming off. 7 is going to be the first car off of pit road. It is Ray Bracey.
Yeah.
It will take
10-second pit stop.
Yeah. Burrell will come out in the second spot on that one. So great stop there from Ray Bracey. We'll see what that strategy will look like and how well that'll hold out here for him. But fuel no longer a concern. Now it's all up to strategy and all up to driver skill as to what the rest of this half will look like and what the lineup will be for the end of our first feature.
That caution comes out could potentially make this a slightly more challenging race for some of these guys. A lot of the drivers went down pit road on lap 14 to get 4 fresh tires and fuel. They've come down again at the halfway mark, because I think everybody here, with the exception of Ray Bracey, has taken 4 tires and fuel. Maybe a couple stragglers here and there have either taken fuel only or right side, but nowhere near as much as the first time. a lot of the drivers here are out of tires for this half. That's it. I expect Ethan Burrell, David Tooker, Noah Brown, Matt Grunberg, Cooper Johnson. I think all of your top 10, except maybe Ray Bracy, is out of tires. You know, the drivers are good enough where they can run the rest of the way without a caution. But if a caution comes out with 15, 10 laps to go, and some of these guys that either have or are gonna drop to the back to save a set of tires by choosing to not take tires, we may be looking at an upset winner here in this first half.
Certainly could have something very interesting happening here as we come around, watch the drivers line up. Lights in the truck are still on, but we're now choosing our lanes where we're going to be. Looks like Ray Bracy has opted for the inside lane as we will come around and do our last lap here before we get back into green. Get these drivers all lined up. Ray Bracy coming out with that 10-second stop. We'll hold on to the first place. We'll watch the green flag drop here. Ethan Burrell, David Tooker, Noah Brown, Grunberg in the 04, Cooper Johnson, Ty McIntosh, Daniel Gore, Dylan Thomas, and David Westergreen are your top 10. As we will have 24 to go when the green flag drops over the halfway point. And as you mentioned, those tires now no longer an option for a lot of these drivers. It'll all be up to how well can you control and maintain.
And I also want to point out that Neil Rutt has not started tonight's race. He's having issues with his computer not being able to load the track. And actually, it wouldn't be the first time I've seen somebody having issues at iRacing since the last update or patch that they've had in. So hopefully, Neil, you can get that figured out. If not, sucks, man.
I'd like to see that car get some points here turned in for the night, but fortunately, we probably won't get anything out of half number one here. As we watch the drivers line up, stack up, coming out of turn number 4. Nashville Superspeedway here for the Music City 160 in the OSCA Series. The weekend's Woodsmen. The green flag's getting ready to drop, and that is not... That's got to be an early jump.
Yeah, that's a huge early jump, and Ray Bracy has gotten a black flag. Ethan Burrell also got a black flag. I have a feeling Race Control might be willing to clear that black flag for Ethan Burrell, but Ray Bracy took off.
Yeah,
Ethan Burrell has gotten his black flags cleared.
Yeah, gave that spot back, but you saw Bracy dip to the shoulder. He's going to have to wait off on this one. So Noah Brown will resume the lead once again. You see the 44 and the 1 door-to-door coming around turn number 4. Waiting for seeing who's going to be able to take over that second place position handily. Cooper Johnson in that 4th place, looking to pick an ally, pick a lane. Which one it's going to be? The one car will take advantage and will take over second spot. Cooper Johnson going to tuck in right behind the 44 Ethan Burrell. But Noah Brown holds on to the lead in that 65 machine.
I do feel bad
how long
for
this takes.
Ethan Burrell, because I feel like seeing Ray Bracy jump that start, in second place, you're only focusing on your speed and the guy that's leading the race. When he took off, Ethan also took off, and then realized what happened very quickly. Got the black flag. He came to us. He slowed down a lot, but Noah Brown and David Tooker were able to leapfrog him in positions because of that. And yeah, Ethan Burrell doesn't have a black flag, but he should, I would argue, be leading this race right now. But kudos to Noah Brown and David Tooker for not missing a beat there. They were able to use whatever was happening around them and focus in and locked in and got themselves plus up one position from where they were.
Now a few cars back, see Cooper Johnson side by side with Matt Grunberg here in the 04 machine on the outside lane. Trying to hold on to this one and take this position over. Trying to get back up to that back bumper of the 44 of Burrell. Is going to be able to at least clear most of the way coming across the start-finish stripe. Going into turn number 1, will have position to dive back into that lower lane, get back up to that back bumper of the 44 machine. Cooper Johnson will fall into the position there of fifth place. Our Sith Lord Ty McIntosh on board here, looking at these two cars in front. This Aviator Racing here riding in alongside a great position. We see McIntosh up front quite often and try to keep him straight, keep him off the wall. And I might have had a little scuff right there, but we'll maintain. Yeah. Coming out of 4, that wall comes up on you real quick before you know it. I don't know why. It's always turn 4 though. 1 and 2 seem a lot easier, but 3 and 4s will get some of these drivers. But still holding single file here through at least the top 10, top 15. It looks like quite a significant amount of single files because everybody's comfortable and complacent where they're at. No need to stir the pot if there's nothing going on. Take your positions as you can. And I imagine a lot of these guys trying to save what tires they are currently on because, as you mentioned, a lot of them have used their 2 sets of tires, so there's nothing left in the pits for them. You don't want to burn them up, and you still are looking at 18 laps to go. Go through the field one by one.
I think once we get to the 15 to go, that's when we could start seeing a lot of, if a caution comes out, those drivers that did have a set of tires, they would start making progress. But realistically, I think once we get to like 10, maybe single digits, they're going to need to have a very quick caution to be able to like, really emphasize on the difference of the tires.
Taking a look here, a lot of 30.7s, 30.8s from these lap times here from these drivers running up front, all running pretty similar times. So not necessarily keeping it too slow, but they're certainly driving well enough to maintain their pace, and that is the pace that is currently being set by Noah Brown in this 65. Is holding on to the lead right now, backed up there by David Tooker in the number 1 car, who's driving for Ryan Gavel in place of this week. Ethan Burrell sitting in 3rd place, Matt Grunberg there 4th, Cooper Johnson in 5th, Ty McIntosh in 6th, Dylan Thomas in 7th, David Westergreen, our points leader, Daniel Gore in the 69 in 9th place, and James Watson rounding out our top 10. Dallas Myham there in 11th. See Gooden, Evans, Stewart, Tufts, Jones, Healer, who had a top 3 podium finish last week. The week, of course, I wasn't here, had the opportunity to interview, and I am very disappointed because, you know, Healer, I love you, but I don't know how many times you're going to have an opportunity to get interviewed, and I'm very disappointed that I missed that one. So, running currently middle of the pack, 15th, 16th position, running 17th right now, but we'll have a 24-car invert, so maybe that'll be the track position that he needs to be able to get back up there to the front to repeat a podium finish in the second half. You take a look at the intervals here between these top 3 cars. Noah Brown holding on to a car length and a half lead over David Tooker here. They are just biding their time, running this pace, and we'll wait to see what the approach is going to be and how many laps are going to be left before we start to see these drivers making a move.
Yeah, and currently right now in 24th is new team driver Jake Scarborough for Redux Racing. So Redux Racing has a top spot and a 24th spot right now. So we could have a winner for Redux and a pole sitter for half number 2 for Redux at the moment. But David Tooker's been reeling in Noah Brown pretty heavily these last couple laps, and he had a good run, but wasn't able to get on his outside. He's able to possibly do it now, as he's got that run. Is he gonna be able to get to the outside line before they go to turn 1? They're side by side here for a little bit, but Noah Brown is able to hold it into the inside. Advantage once again to the outside as they're side by side, door to door.
Not clear coming out of the corner. The 1 car gets to him and does not let him get up to that wall. So be door to door going through 3 and 4. See if the 1 car can keep it off the wall. Might have to back down a little bit, but does not have to do so. Will hold that and take the lead with 11 laps to go here. Does get credited for that one, but they are still side by side going through 1 and 2. Noah Brown on the inside lane is now going to clear a little bit here. Does get the nose in front. Coming down the backstretch now. On the backside, you see the 44 diving low. We're going 3 wide into turn number 3. Noah Brown here in the middle lane. That is going to be the 1 car. David Tooker is going to try to take advantage to get clear all the way out of this one. Does clear, does take over the 1st place position, and will handily lead that lap. But now you got a side-by-side battle for 2nd place. Ethan Burrell and Noah Brown. Noah finds himself now on the outside lane here fighting for position. Not sure which one would be the preferred position out of this, but does now find himself here looking at the back bumper of the one car who's driving off into the sunset. The 44 does pass as well. So we'll get that position here. And 65 did collect a black flag as well. So Noah Brown is going to have to go down and serve a penalty.
I wonder if his tires are giving out. Because he took four. I'm so confused as to why Noah Brown has a black flag.
Somebody knows something that I don't. But what I do know is that's my driver pick, and I'm now very disappointed because he was running so well, and I was looking for a top 3 finish. But sometimes race day is not your day, but instead it's David Tooker's day, who's now got the one car into one place. And that is the front of the pack with 8 laps to go. Ethan Burrell in the 44 trying to chase him down now to take over that first place spot. Handful of car lengths back. See Matt Gruenberg and Cooper Johnson. Johnson did just get a little bit loose coming out of that corner. Had a little wiggle, had to save it. We'll have to maintain this on the top side of 3Y TV multi-game. See Zach Evans trying to make a pass here on Mr. Gooden.
Yeah, if anybody knows why Noah Brown had a black flag, it did get cleared, but I just can't quite understand why. But we do still have a close battle for the lead between the 1 and the 44. And I think the 44 may be just a little bit faster, just trying to bide his time. But the question is, how long until it's too late?
Let's see how long was the 44 will wait. It's 7 laps to go. It's still side by side in the back between the 6 and the 75. The 2 leaders up front running almost identical lap times here. So setting the same pace, maintaining the same pace, but the 44 has got the one on his nose and is not letting go. They're still battling up here for position. This is a battle for 11th and 12th. And you see Caden Tufts there in the double zeros there in 13th watching this. They go up and down and thankfully not around. Going lane to lane here. And Gooden will at least drive off. Tufts now is going to be on the bottom line coming across the start-finish stripe. Trying to take away that position, but up front with 5 laps to go. Take a look at the intervals here. Hooker still holding on to the lead. Ethan Burrell on car and a half back. Maybe 2 car lengths coming down the stretch into 3 and 4. It does get a little bit closer coming through that corner, but a little more speed here for the 1 coming out of that. Going to come down to a 2-car drag race at the finish with 4 laps to go. Looks like the 1 car is better out of 3 and 4. The 44 looks better on the 1-2 side coming around into the backstretch, and that's where the distance does get closed. But see how much juice the 1 has left because trying to maintain this distance. Not let Burrell get to the back bumper, not give him the angle to nose up underneath. Is heavy on the accelerator coming out of the corner on turn 4 all the way up to the wall. Using every inch of the track, trying to gain position. Does close it down to half a car. Now got the nose to the bumper here, trying to come out onto the back stretch. See if he can find an angle. 3 laps to go. Has to find the weak point here. Does have him all the way up. Bumper to bumper here. 3 and 4. Little bump on this one. Has to check up a little bit just to make sure nothing too crazy happens. Keeps him within striking distance. Coming across start finish. 2 laps to go now in half number 1. David Tooker here holding on to the lead with Ethan Burrell poised to strike.
Meanwhile, battle for 24th, Alex Kenton and Noah Brown. Noah Brown leading the race is now trying to get to that pivotal 24th place position to start half number 2 on the pole here with 2 laps remaining. 3 laps here. When they cross the line, 2 laps then. He's going to try to get that spot. I think he's going to get it. He does have fresh tires here. Last lap remaining here between the leaders as they're going to go to turns 1 with the 1 still leading this race.
White flag has dropped. 1 in front. One more time here coming through 1 and 2. See if Ethan can get to the bumper. Can't quite get all the way up to it. Still has a car length to cover. We come down into 3 and 4 for the final time here in half number 1. Does get closer up there all the way to it. Is driving it in, driving it hard, but cannot quite make it as they get clean out of 3 and 4. Coming across the line is going to be Mr. Tooker in the 1 car, taking half number 1 here in Music City 160 Nashville Super Speedway. And you got to feel good about that one, especially the name's Vic Bloom. And you know what? I don't want to talk about that, but I had to get some points to catch up. You too. I don't think I forgot. You too.
Yeah, I got myself some solid points, but still, great race. Only 2 cautions for cause. One of them being just a really bad net code that just shouldn't have even happened.
Yeah.
But congratulations, David Tooker, Shift Esports #1 car in first place, top of the board here for half number 1.
Top of the board for half number 1. You mentioned it, though. Well, something we'll look forward to in half number 2. Of course, with the 24-car invert, does put the 65 back on the front row. We'll be starting on the pole for half number 2. So curious to see what kind of redemption arc we can see from the 65. But, of course, flashing it back to a wide pan view of Nashville Super Speedway here for the Music City 160. You see the time passing. We are still in overcast skies. But now we are under the lights here, starting this race at 7 p.m. in sim time. The track's going to be a little cooler, changing track conditions. We'll see how this is going to affect this tire wear and how these drivers are going to be able to take advantage of these cooler temperatures. And who's going to be able to make this bottom line really stick and really drive it in here. But after half number 1, we saw some pretty good single file racing through the field. Not a lot of incident, like you said, only really 1 caution for cause out of this event. So being able to have this through that bodes well for the second half.
Yeah, well said. Well said. So I don't think Vic is here quite yet, so we'll give it a bit. But what we can actually do is go over the half 1 race results.
I would love to do so. Of course, as we saw, David Tooker taking the checkered flag there. Ethan Brill was chasing him down, could not close the distance there in the 44. Matt Grunberg in the 04 finishes out in 3rd place. Cooper Johnson there in 4th. Ty McIntosh 5th. Daniel Gore, our points leader, putting in a strong finish of 6th place. Dylan Thomas there in 7th. David Westergreen, James Watson, and Dallas Myhan closing out the top 10. Caden Tufts, Dylan Gooden, Zach Evans. We saw a lot of good battling there for position between those 3 vehicles, and Tufts actually takes advantage of the 11th place position. Missy Cottrell did get an EOL there after the first caution, ends up there in 14th place. Tynan Jones in 15th, Santiago Aguirre in 16th, Dave Carpenter 17th, Dustin Dewar in 18th. Tried a different pit strategy than everybody else, didn't quite pan out, but we'll be towards the front of the pack for half number 2. Adam Peeler there in 19th, Capuano 20th, Tim Conrad 21st, Rashid Coles, Jake Scarborough, and Noah Brown will be your front 3 for half number 2. Is where the invert will end. Alex Kenton there in 25th did get collected in incident early, as well as Ray Bracey, James Miller, and Joe Francis there in 28th. We, of course, did not see Neil Rutt joining us, and Darren Stapp is going to be that 29th car that did, unfortunately, have that early incident there on, was it lap 12 or 13? It ends up ending his night early, so has a lot of ground to make up here for a handful of drivers. Of course, we'll see, as we mentioned, what Noah Brown can do with his redemption arc, starting now on the pole for half number 2.
Yeah, I shot him a quick message. Hopefully he responds back. But Vic is here, and that means we have one thing we have to do. Vic, take it away.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. So I feel for you, Trevor, because obviously race control can only see so much so quickly. So 65, unfortunately, did jump to restart.
Oh, yeah, we know that.
We had hate that it took 13 laps, but we were watching everything back and make sure nobody else did anything.
Oh!
So
it was the restart. That's a heartbreaker.
So with that, though, Trevor, you are first.
And you doubted me. You said that I don't know why you picked the 65. That was a crazy pick.
It turned out that I was not wrong.
Well, that's just the worst. I hate that. Can I do it again? Run it back.
No, you can't pick him again.
I know.
Yep.
I hate that. It was looking so good too. All right, let me scroll through who I have available. You know what? Give me Grunberg. He was running up there pretty well. See how we can drive through traffic.
That's a good pick. I like that pick. Who you got, Carlos?
Oh, I finished. Oh, that's. Well, I guess it's three of us.
I
who
won.
Finished middle of the batch, right? Yeah, and I got a 4th place finish. I'm gonna run it back. I know I can't run it back with Cooper Johnson, but I'm gonna run it back with Dallas in my hand. He got himself first race back in like 8 months. Got himself a top 10. I think he's gonna get
Pretty
himself
good.
another solid top 10.
Well, speaking of people that are pretty good, kind of his catchphrase if you watch him on Twitter or YouTube these days. I'm gonna go with the 75 car of Dylan Gooden.
Pretty good.
He kind of finished exactly where he started, so I have all the confidence that he'll do it again.
Consistency is key. Of course, the time I picked Gooden was a very good in time, so I don't blame you for that. Dylan Gooden has done a pretty good job here over the course of the season, being consistent, and as you mentioned there, starting exactly where, or finishing exactly where you started, bodes well for you as well. As we get field set up, everybody's getting themselves all situated before we get underway one more time here for the second half of Music City 160 at Nashville Superspeedway here on 3Y TV, our weekend Woodsman OSCA series. What?
I just saw Ray Bracey. I'm gonna have to full screen this and show it on my end. Ray Bracey said boycotting Rackley Roofing because the put it up in the broadcast. Oh, I have the filter on. You can't see it, but the Rackley Roofing logo contingencies on the track that appear before the restart zone are blue. And it's so close. It's close to that Geico restart blue that he thought he was in the zone, but that wasn't it.
Oh, that's funny. That's oh, that's a heartbreak.
Yeah.
What's blue?
Yeah, it's blue.
That's so funny.
Oh, man. All right, well,
Missed it by a
warm-up
lot
is
much.
done. We're going to go ahead and get ourselves ready here for the second half tonight. And do you think we're going to have a repeat winner? Redux Racing did sweep last week. They're not going to sweep this week. But do you think Shift can get a sweep?
No. I'm going to say no because I just don't expect it to happen. But, you know, I've been wrong before. I was wrong with my Noah Brown pick, so, you know, we'll see what Shifty Sports going to do. We'll take a look at the grid here, of course. Starting out on that front row, did take that spot from Alex Kitten, is going to be Noah Brown in the 65, Jake Scarborough in second place. She Cole's going to be in number 3. Tim Conrad there in 4th place, rounding out that second row. Thomas Capuano there in 5th. Adam Peeler in 6th. Did have that podium finish in half 2 last week after playing the defense of his life. Justin Dewar there in the 32 will be starting in 7th, alongside Mr. Carpenter in the 71 with his Cheaties 71 mobile. Santiago Aguirre in the 88 will be in 9th place, and rounding out the top 10 is the 73 down under Kynan Jones. Missy Cottrell in the 52 will be starting 11th, alongside Big Designs number 6 of Zach Evans. Of course, Mr. Gooden there in the 75, alongside Caden Tufts in the double zeros, 13th and 14th respectively. Alice Myhan there in the 29 in 15th place, alongside James Watson in the 39 in row number 8. For number 9, we got David Westergreen in the number 9 car, alongside Dylan Thomas in the 13. Nurse Aviator Racing right there. Points leader, Daniel Gore in the 69 will be starting in 19th, alongside the Sith Lord Ty McIntosh in his number 10. Cooper Johnson there in 21st place, alongside of Matt Grunberg in the 04. Ethan Burrell there in the 23 will be starting alongside our winner from half number 1. That is David Tooker in the number 1 machine. Alex Kenton did get bumped there out of the spot by Noah Brown. Will be starting in 25th there, alongside the Bojo machine of Ray Bracey. James Miller in the Tim Hortons 09 will be starting in 27th, alongside Joe Francis in the 99 machine. Darren Stott there had an unlucky end to half number 1. We'll be starting in 29th place in that 45 machine, and we are, fingers crossed, hoping that Neil Rutt was able to get Nashville Superspeedway to load, because he's missing out on quite the festival here in the Music City 160. A lot of good artists on the track here tonight. we
did
take
not.
the track.
So we have
getting ready.
29 cars on track.
That's unfortunate. Hate to see it.
Hate to see it.
I'm just reading the in-race chat that Ray Bracey's asking for an EOL, but he's already there, so he doesn't have to worry about it.
I feel for Ray Bracey. It was a bit. It was a bit of a shock. I like just seeing him take off so quickly. But that was a good explanation as to why he did it. I mean, yeah. It's similar. I mean, you've seen the photo.
Oh yeah, it's.
See if we can quickly go on board before they do take off. You see right there, that's the Rackley roofing.
Yep.
But the restart zone's over here.
Don't jump it in the Rackley. We've seen that mistake before. Wait for the right part of the wall. We get to the Geico restart zone for half number 2 of the Music City 160. Nobody jumped it early. The 65 and Noah Brown will take us across the start-finish line here at Nashville Superspeedway for half number 2. Another 60 lap feature that we see. These drivers know the track already, but conditions have changed. A little bit cooler as we already see the 54 dropping now. Rashid Coles is going to be plummeting down the leaderboard on the left side. Almost lost that one going through turns 1 and 2 off the rip, but does save it, does tuck in line there almost all the way back there.
No!
25th, 26th.
Contact!
An incident already. That is the number 6 of Zach Evans, collected by Santiago Aguirre. They're in the middle of the pack, and that is going to bring out our first caution of half number 2. That's a tough break there for Zach Evans and the number 6 machine, and I'm sure very frustrated. Zach Evans. Usually you need 4 of those if you want to be able to drive. On average.
Hectic start. Turn off that camera. For half number 2. So we had one driver nearly spin out in turn number 1, go to the apron to avoid any issue, and then a big crash there on the opposite side of the track in 3 and 4, taking out a couple fan favorite drivers.
We'll see where everybody's going to stack up following the incident. Let's see what the 3-wide TV replay will show us on board. Zach Evans, 3-wide there in the corner.
Are you kidding me?
Wow. Little wiggle, little loose. Aguirre gets caught up, and that will collect Zach Evans in the fray. Getting crazy up there, 3-wide.
It was 3 wide. 73 was a little. It was a little close between the 73 and the 88, but still there was plenty of space there. You could fit a human there, and then netcode contact was made, and that caused Santiago, James, and Zach to kind of essentially have heavy damage in this race. Oh man!
Yeah,
I think all those cars have meatballs.
Yep, they're all likely not going to be having a good time for the rest of the night. James Watson was collected in that one, and I believe that is going to be the end of his night as well, as that car will be a goner and done for. So we at least have that position figured out. We'll look here on board right in front. Yeah, that's going to be a tough break. Takes your hood out, takes the rest of your car, and significant damage here. Yeah. The car will not turn anymore, cannot drive, so unfortunate early exit for a handful of cars here as we get everybody racked and stacked.
Yeah, let's see if any of them decide to go into the infield care center if they want to air their grievances, or just talk about the first half if they want to.
Did not make it far. Only made it maybe a mile and a half.
Yeah, a real shame.
Lo and behold, though, as we see a handful of drivers exit the race, we have a driver enter the race. Neil Rutt has connected.
My man!
How about that? You just took the sacrifice of 3 or 4 other cars for Neil Rutt to be able to get in, I guess. We'll line him up here. Put everybody in line. Inside and out as Noah Brown still holds on to that number 1 spot. Rick Scarborough will be on the outside. Tim Conrad, Adam Peeler, Dustin Dewar, Thomas Capuano, Kyna Jones, Dave Carpenter, Dylan Gooden, and Jessica Trell will be your top 10 as we come around turn number 4. Looking for the Reckley Roofing restart zone that predates the Geico restart zone. The pit truck dives off. We look for the right color of blue on the wall. We get bumper to bumper. We wait for the green flag to drop. And we are back green racing here at Nashville Superspeedway. Renault Brown has a great jump off of the restart and takes a commanding lead here going into 1 and 2. If Scarborough can make up the distance. 4 or 5 car lengths did get lost out of that one, but Tim Conrad will tuck up hopefully to the bumper if he can get there. Side by side there. Thomas Capuano, Adam Peeler. Capuano will take position as Peeler's going to fall in line down to the bottom lane now. We start to file out single file here through the top 10. Then you start to get a little crazy towards the back as a lot of blue cars here, the 3-wide TV machines. Cooper Johnson, one of them side by side with Dylan Thomas. Just in front of them, you see Ty McIntosh in there as well. 29. 66, and Neil Rutt on board, on the track, and he's coming out to join us. Starting to get doubled up here in 4th through 8th position. Peeler will hold on to his lane and will file in single file as Bo Brown still holds on to this number 1 spot.
Yeah, the Redux Racing boys doing a good job pulling away from the number 21, 27, all behind. Zach Evans on the YouTube chat saying, don't worry, guys. Only 49 minutes are required repairs. So if all goes well, we'll only go maybe 1 or 2 laps down. And caution is out. 73, Kynan Jones around. Big Pilo, 52, 91, or one of the Redux machines is involved. And
Lots
the 10.
of fast cars that were collected in that one. I'll have to take a look at the replay to see exactly what started that waterfall. But a lot of cars collected here one more time. Hopefully none of them have 49 minutes worth of repairs. Take a look at the 3-wide TV replay coming through the corner. Kynan and the 32 Dewar get together in the corner, sends Kynan up the track, gets sideways, cannot save it.
Oh, man.
And somebody just got barely clipped there. Couldn't see the number.
That was my pick. That was my pick, number 29.
Oh, it was a 29. That's tough. The flash of blue went across the screen and couldn't see exactly which one it was, but take a look side by side, just dooring each other, going down the backstretch, and just tried to save it, couldn't quite get that traction going, and ends up collecting that 29 as you saw on the front side. But Neil Rutt's on the track.
Yeah, he's on the track. Yeah,
he's on the track and avoids all this altogether.
Two of my 3 cars got involved in that one. Let's go on board with that as my hands.
That was my hand here. Watch this unfold alongside Daniel Gordon. He got tagged from the back as well. Had no grip whatsoever. That might have been Tooker that tagged him on the back bumper. Fortunately, just completely lost everything out of that one. Take a look here.
It was not Tooker. It was the 13, but I don't think it was on purpose. The 54, Rashid goes into the back of the 1. Wow. So the 1 has damage. I don't know how hard it is, but he has damage.
1 did get at least a little bit of something out of that, but you saw 6-7 cars sideways here. They'll stack up on the top. 52 goes sideways, comes down, collects another one. Hopefully minimal damage out of that one.
Yeah, I think he's going to be okay. Who else came to a stop? I see Ty McIntosh may have been involved. Oh, yeah, he was. That's right. Oh, man. Oh,
yeah. Just hard into the back bumper. Dylan Thomas right there. 69 gets collected as well.
I think Ty may be okay. They were all pretty square hits. Ray Bracey.
The best thing you could ask for.
He may have come to the
watch this unfold.
At the 3-wide TV. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
Oh,
exactly what you're saying. Watching everybody in front of you pile up, and the 14 hard on the brakes, but Ray Bracey was not quite hard enough.
Check out quick shifts. Fantastic mini video recap that Ray Bracey does on his YouTube channel. Let's see who else. Jesse Cottrell. He was involved. 52 was.
Yep.
He's the one that clips Cooper Johnson. So it's a 3-wide TV on 3-wide TV
Yeah.
crime there.
Along for the ride at that point. Just a little bump and run across the board and see who gets out of this one with cars that work well enough that they can try to get some laps turned in here, get some more points on the board for their vehicles at the very
I want to
least.
see what happened here. I really don't know if the 73 came down or the 14 came up or if it was both, but that was not netcode as 73 goes for a wild ride.
Well, yeah, it looked like the 73 was just trying to start to prepare for that corner, start to turn the nose down. And just the 14 just wasn't quite ready for it. It was going to go in a little bit hotter, but ended up collecting a handful of cars behind him. Quite the mess was made out of that one. Dallas Mahan, his night is over as well. I said we'll see how many of these cars are going to be able to salvage something out of this one to collect a finish out of this. As we get racked and stacked one more time, the 65 and Noah Brown will take us to green when we come back around. Still alongside Jake Scarborough in that 77 course, sporting his new ride this week. Not a lot of changes there in the top 10. A lot of the names that will remain the same from the first time, right? Thomas Capuano, Adam Peeler, Tim Conrad, Caden Tufts, Dylan Gooden, Dave Westergreen, Matt Grunberg, and Carpenter in 71 here is going to be your top 10.
16th and back have gone down pit road at least once this race. 15th and forwards have yet to go down pit road.
We'll come back around here as we get set for another green flag. One more time. Nashville Superspeedway, Music City 160. 11 laps are down. We're waiting for the Geico restart zone. Green flag is out. Noah Brown gets another good jump on this one. On the backside of that one, Thomas Capuano will be able to match Jake Scarborough going into turn number 1 on that bottom lane. And will clear going through 1 as well. So Peeler now ducking in behind the 77. Will try to make this one stick, but Caden Tufts on the outside lane has something else to say about that one. Will make the pass and will try to now collect the 77's position as well, but does have to check out coming through this one. He's going to be side by side with Peeler coming out of number 4, and they get together. Peeler gets sent through the grass, give the landscaping company something to do. He's going to be off the track, down on the apron, and losing all kinds of positions, and that will bring out a caution.
Oh, no.
Oh, that is Ray Bracey sideways on the other side of the track here. See what collected Ray Bracey out of all of that. And 3-wide TV replay.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's a lot of wiggles there coming out of that one. And Dylan Thomas gets to the back bumper and just turns him around. And
oh, no.
Hold your position. Yeah, that's tough. Loose coming out of 4. A lot of drivers have had troubles with 4. He gets into the wall after that one. And yeah, Ray Brace is on the oh no cam. And that's an oh no moment.
Hard hit. He has a meatball flag. So does Dustin Dewar.
Oh, yeah.
And Santiago. Oh, wait, Santiago cleared his meatball flag from the previous incident.
Coming out of 4, yeah, just a little early on the accelerator, gets into the wall, comes down across the nose there. Dylan Thomas gets sent around. Tough break there for the Ojo Racing. Number 7, Ray Bracey. Oh, rack and stack one more time, and now we start to see some strategy coming in. Some drivers faking, someone staying out. Because we are now at that point where we draw the line. You're getting real close to this fuel window. 45 laps is roughly what we're deciding the fuel window is. So a handful of drivers will be taking, a handful will not. Including those not taking is going to be the 44 Ethan Burrell, who did so well in half number 1. He's going to stay out. Looks like the 91, the 71, the 09. A lot of fast cars that are still on the track.
A lot of fuel-only stops right now. This is roughly around the same time where the first caution came out, albeit in this half, it's a couple laps, I think maybe 1 or 2 laps after. So they were down pit road in like lap 14 compared to lap 15 now, which would help them because they can work on, it's realistically they can make it from here. If they have to work for it though.
Yep.
So this could help him out. The difference is, though, on half one, that we only had one caution at this point, and this is the third one. For half number 2.
And that's exactly why you see a lot of fuel-only stops. These tires, it's like they haven't done anything. They've just been driving around. They've got maybe 3 or 4 green flag laps on them. Everybody else is going to be fine with this one. So those drivers taking fuel only are looking for the long con here, saving their tires. Only have 2 sets in the pits that they can be using here. So, well, again, line them up, figure out who's going to be taking which lane is be led to the green. It's like by the 77 of Jake Scarborough. We'll have Tim Conrad on his door.
We still have lights, so we're gonna go ahead and shut the mics off for a little bit as we get ourselves some water, relax, and get ready for this next restart coming up.
We are back here in Nashville for the Music City 160 Weekend Woodsman OSCA Series. You get lined up 2 double wide. Get ready for the Geico restart zone as the lights are off on the pace truck as he will dive off onto pit road. We look for another restart here, led to green by Jake Scarborough in his green 77 machine. The green flag is out. Gets a good jump on this one. Not as good as we saw Noah Brown getting, but does get a significant advantage coming out of this one, going into turn number 1. As you see, 2nd and 3rd place side by side, alongside 4th and 5th. As Tim Conrad, David Westergreen that are fighting for position coming out of turn number 2. Right behind them, Matt Grunberg and James Miller in the 09. Cooper Johnson in the 91. Ethan Burrell, Joe Francis, David Tooker, and Noah Brown are your top 10. Coming around 4, we've seen drivers having issues with this corner here. We got a full green flag lap, though. So far, event incident free. 19 laps here into the second half. The only pits we've seen so far are fuel only. No tires have been taken as of yet.
Maybe some tires. Very little, though. I do expect a lot of the drivers to have taken no tires.
Only 2 sets available for them here. Not a lot of green flag racing. So those that have taken them didn't have a whole lot of green flag driving on those tires that they replaced. But see a side-by-side battle here between the 09 and the 9. David Westergreen here and Mr. Miller.
There's a battle for that second place spot as they're side-by-side. And they were side-by-side for 4th and 5th. But that one kind of ended as Cooper Johnson's trying to get to the inside. And Cooper Johnson, he was involved in that second crash, and it looks like your car is A-OK.
Are doing just fine. Not a whole lot of drivers that seemingly survived that very well, but seems like Cooper Johnson is one of them in his 91 3-wide TV machine, but still side by side here, battling for second, the 9 and the 09. Looking for advantage on that one. 09 trying to clear on the high side, does not do so going into the corner through 3 and 4. It will come back out, still side by side here. Finally does get the clearance here and does dip down to the apron, maintaining that position there. So Chris Miller does take over that second place. Send Dave Westergreen down into third. That group right there in fourth place in that 04 car, lurking behind now. Cooper Johnson in fifth. We're alongside and along the ride of David Westergreen here. He's up 14 places here through this half. Pretty good run going so far for himself. But single file racing through a lot of the field here. Everybody is now understanding track conditions a little bit different here in the night mode of Nashville.
I like how you call that night mode. Pretty funny. Jesse Cottrell for the 52 this week, fill-in driver for Shift, has gone down pit road. He's already, actually no, it looks like he is off the track. So
yep.
Jesse calling it an early night here in his Shift debut for OSCA.
Not quite working out for you. Just got a no win. It's just not worth it anymore. You're not getting any value out of that one or any time spent on the track that's doing you much of any good. Take
He's
a
not,
look. Still watching.
Yeah, I mean, he's not running for the Drivers' Championship, but the 52 is still running for the Owners' Championship.
Yeah.
And the car. The Owners' Championship and could have potentially helped the Team Championship, because that is, those are two things as well.
But we'll not get any points or any additional points out of this one in half number 2, as we are 25 laps down with 35 to go here. Side by side, trying to get Kynan Jones, trying to find an angle there on Dylan Thomas, but Daniel Gore's going to be coming on this one. With Daniel Gore, our current points leader going into tonight's race. He's going to be on board here with Kynan Jones. Riding in 18th place right now in this battle for position with our points leader. 120 on the heart rate. Pretty good.
Yeah, 122. Yeah, first time we've had the webcam on. I can't believe that we forgot to. I guess he was about an early incident there in half 1. But got the bunny mate suit on right now. You can tell. So his heart rate's gone down. I think statistically proven that when he wears the mate outfit or the bunny outfit when he races, that heart rate goes down. I think the breeze helps.
Something about just being in your element, just being comfortable with what you got, what you're driving, and where you are right now. Comfortable enough here in 18th, watching these drivers.
I would expect that heart rate to go up a little.
Yeah, it made my heart rate go up a little bit.
Yeah.
Sure, Daniel Gore seeing that car slide up like that one might get you a little elevated in blood pressure as well, but still event-free here in front of Kynan Jones. In 18th place, Daniel Gore trying to make up some track and get through traffic
double
here.
digits!
Wow.
Kynan Jones,
calm, and collected Kynan.
Kynan Jones potentially might be a hot free agent to pick up in the offseason. Unsure yet what his plans are, but when he's wearing those outfits, getting hotter.
On board here with Jake Scarborough, who's currently running up at the front of the pack. Let's have a couple car lengths on Chris Miller in the 09 machine, as they will get closer to this halfway point. Single file here, as you see on board, with a lot of the top 10. Not a whole lot of action going through. One by one by one. Everybody's lined up, happy, and clap your hands. Keep your hands on the steering wheel. Don't clap your hands if you're driving. 44, Ethan Braille. Yeah, I guess you could. It's still dangerous. 10 and 2, especially if you're driving 140 plus miles an hour.
Isn't it different now? Like with the modern cars, are you supposed to hold it lower to the wheel because of the airbags?
Are you?
I don't know. I thought I heard that once. I still
Every
hold it
car I
10.
own is at least 25 years old, so I don't. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't apply to me. I don't follow the rules.
Oh, here, turn 3, exiting off of 4. for the number 77 of Jake Scarborough, leading laps here for his debut in Redux Racing as we are now at the halfway mark. The 09 of James Miller is hot on his back bumper, and let's take a look at what it's been the last couple of laps. It looks kind of mixed.
Closing some distance.
Yeah, it's a little mixed, yeah. Both
But
holding
they're
on their
running
own.
virtually the same. Getting pretty close to these intervals and holding a little back and forth, a little give and take out of this one, but just running their pace, roughly around a 31-second mark. And you know that with these tires on, that they're losing a little bit of time, lap by lap, but they still have tires available in the pits should they need them. But curious which of the drivers are good on fuel and who's going to have to save a little bit here, because a lot of those pits that happened were right at the border of that fuel window. The 09, as you mentioned, hot on the back bumper of the 77. Is going to make a move here going into the corner. Does dive low, has position on the door coming around 4. We'll have him bumper to bumper, see if he can clear coming down the front stretch. And he might just be able to do it, but it's very close out of this one. See if he can get it going into turns 1 and 2. 77 still there, running that second lane. Is going to give this position up to dive back and go underneath to line up with the 09 of James Miller. So a lead change here on lap number 33. And now you see a yellow flag. Oh, Peeler is around.
Gone down pit road at the worst time. His cautions come out. He's not even going to stop. He's just going to go straight on through.
Right on through. We saw Peeler around. Kenton went and checked up. I didn't know if Kenton went around as well, but we'll take a look at the 3-wide TV replay to see what happened to Adam Peeler here. Went into the corner side by side with Kenton.
That's more netcode. Come on, iRacing.
They just got together there a little bit, yeah.
Oh,
too close for comfort. The 54, wow, just smokes the quarter panel of the 14.
I would say this is definitely the closest side-by-side racing we've had, but that was still arguably netcode as the 27 slowly kept being pulled up by the 14, even though they weren't making contact.
Yeah, heartbreak hotel for those two.
See right there, he starts coming up. The 27 does.
Yep.
Not of his choice, of course. The 14 was making pseudo contact.
Yep. Just door to door through the corner. Unfortunately, sends them both up, and then the 54 gets taken out as well in that one. But gonna ride alongside there. You see Alex getting, as he's on his nose on the passenger door of Peeler, spins him around, and then hard hit there on the front left there. Cheat Coles will take that one, and now all of a sudden pits are very busy here. We have 35 laps down, 25 to go. Imagine a lot of tire changes are going to be happening here for a lot of these drivers. We'll see where we all line up coming out of the pits now. Drivers already done. That first place position from the pit road is 65. That is going to be like the first one off of pit road.
Yep, 2 drivers stayed out. David Tucker, Tim Conrad. Tucker did go down pit road on lap number 8. Conrad has not, so I would assume that these guys would go down pit road this time by. It doesn't make any sense for them to stay out. This is the first true pit stop for a lot of the competitors, and with them having 2 sets, it's a very safe call to take tires now. Really unlikely that a saving of the tires would result in a good strategy call here with the first true pit stop coming after halfway. So expecting him to go down pit road. There goes Tim. David does stay out though. He already had taken that pit stop. He was there for 50 seconds. David Tucker was, and I could argue Tucker's definitely a fast driver. I would argue he definitely took all 4 fresh tires, saved the stuff at the back, hoping for a caution like this. And trying to get as much track position as he could because he was running towards the back. So if he drops a couple spots, it's going to be okay if they get another caution and go down pit road. But if they don't get another caution, and he drops back all the way, then it was I don't know if bad call is the right term, but I just like the factors need to be. The stars will have to align for this to be a winning strategy for David Tucker. But I do not fault them for taking this risk.
Yeah, certainly have to if you want to try to find an angle where you can and see if maybe something will come out of another caution, potentially, if you can get some help from the rest of the field. We've seen how advantageous these restarts have been for the person that has been running in first place. So maybe you hope that you get such a good jump off the restart that you are able to make up a few tenths of a second of the difference between you and the drivers that have fresh tires on them. But certainly an interesting strategy. You'll see how that does play out for one car, Mr. Tooker. But Noah Brown here, I know, itching to get back up in front. Did have that black flag after the restart violation in half number 1, running top 3, doing so well up towards the front, and then went all the way back to 24th. We're started on the pole here for half number 2. Finds himself now back on the front row. Lights are out on the pace truck, so we'll take it one more time around the track. And we'll see if the strategy will pay off for the one car, or if these fresh tires will just eat him alive. I got a feeling it might go that way.
Fourth caution of the second half here. I believe this is the 6th caution overall tonight. As I think these guys will probably make it the rest of the way without issues. I know Tooker for sure wants a caution. Maybe not right away, but after like 10 or so laps, I do expect everybody going down pit road should that happen. Right side tires mostly, if they do go down pit road. We saw how that worked out nearly flawlessly for Redux Racing.
Yeah. Right sides did a significant number there. I believe it was Noah Brown that was doing the one that had such justice served from that one. But the pace truck is off as we get stacked up here double wide for this restart into the Geico restart zone. Getting ready for 24 to go here. Green flag is out. Does not get a huge jump on this one, but David Tooker does maintain the lead where we go down to single file pretty quickly here. But the 65 of Noah Brown outside of Miller. Going to be fighting for second place, going through 1 and 2.
Oh!
They get together a little bit, but bumps him off of the quarter panel, and they're still side by side going through this one. Now they're stacked up here behind the one car who just doesn't have the speed to hold on to this one. Tries to defend the spot. They get together again in second and third, but Noah Brown is able to get off that one. 09 maintains position as they hold, and the one car right now is just holding them up. You guys are itching for position, trying to get by. Noah Brown's going to have to give that high line to try to dive low, get past this one car of David Tooker. But the 09 of Miller does clear and holds on to the lead for now. Wait for Noah Brown to make this pass and does do so. Tooker gets shunted to the outside lane, has to check up a lot, loses 3, 4, 5 positions now. We're dropping down very slowly out of this one. Continues to fall back as all these fresh tires just blow right on by. 21 laps to go here. And the 09 of James Miller has taken the lead here. The middle of the pack, getting a little feisty to 77 in the 13, bumper to bumper. On the outside is David Westergreen in that 9 car. They're still here holding their lines. Nobody getting too squirrely. 3 wide right behind them, coming across the start-finish stripe. Dylan Thomas trying to cross over David Westergreen. Bold move there, not to lose it. Does get a little bit of net code contact out of this one in 1 and 2. It's going to save it, though. That's going to make a huge check up here from that 9 car. Westergreen's going to lose a lot of speed, as well as the 3-wide TV machine right behind him. But they all maintain, all save. We'll hold this one there. 3 wide going through the corner. Cooper Johnson is going to be able to clear the 13. So they'll hold it 2 by 2 now. The 45, Darren Staff. Haven't said his name in quite a while since his incident that collected him very early on in half number 1. Finds himself in the fray here towards the front. Heck.
Yeah, wrecked in half 1, lap number 13 or 14. Battling for that second place spot. Definitely had a fast car. I don't know if the top 2 were saving or if Darren was that much faster. But Darren was moving and grooving, and unfortunately netcode part 1 took him out of contention. Been chilling at the back, making some stops, doing some tire saving. Caution comes out, resets everybody, so now he's starting to work from the middle of the pack now at this point into the top 10. So good run for Darren Staff.
Good run, just got to maintain and hold on to position. 18 laps to go here, running in 9th currently. Ahead of them. Take a look at Ethan Burrell here. Noah Brown and Matt Grunberg here running in 4th place. It's a battle for this 2, 3, and 4 on your screen. 77 to Jake Scarborough in his debut of that machine. Running in 5th, lurking behind is a little bit of a gap up front, too. The 09 of our current leader, James Miller. The single file here through a lot of the field. Everybody is getting comfortable where they're at right now. We started to see some moves being made, as you mentioned, 11 or 12 to go in half number 1. Drivers started to find their angles to try to find the advantages that they could, but nothing as of yet. Drivers finding their lines, finding the angles that they can, seeing which of these lanes are going to work. And a caution is out. Yellow flags out. That's Dylan Thomas. It is around. We'll see what happened to collect him. Another one of those cars that was running in traffic.
Tim Conrad, Dylan Thomas, meatball flags, both of them.
Unfortunate heartbreak for both of them. Cooper Johnson, see where that was at, but that was probably what, 13th to 16th place, looking in there in the middle of the pack. Daniel Gore, points leader, alongside as well.
Oh my God, Netcode, part 4 of the night, as that's gonna take out another couple of drivers. iRacing, get your stuff figured out. Come on.
Yeah, bumpers just got a little too close together for comfort of servers. And that'll send Dylan Thomas around and end his night. Unfortunate situation out of that. See exactly where this one came to fruition. Dylan Thomas going low of Daniel Gore. Yeah, it's just the nose and the quarter panel there are not quite together, but together enough, I guess.
Yep, caution's out, and I think that this came in just a little too late for the one who lost enough spots down to being 16th. So he did go down per road alongside Scarborough, Gooden, Carpenter, Kynan, Francis, Conrad, and Thomas. So I think David will probably work out, possibly. I think he can get himself a top 10, but chances of winning have possibly gone away. It'll be interesting to note where the guys are 11th and back, drivers went down pit road, where they're going to, kind of finish in tonight's race when we restart with about 12, 11 laps to go.
Neil Rutt gets the wave around one more time. The late addition to the race finally does get the track to load and is here to join us, but we stack up one more time. James Miller is opting for the outside lane on the restart. Haven't seen that make that much of a difference really here through a lot of these restarts. It's the first place car, gets that jump and has been pretty handily holding on to the lead by getting a 2 to 3 tenths of a second lead going into turn number 1. Then it's a side-by-side battle for second and third, which is where we see Ethan Burrell and Noah Brown. Matt Grunberg there in 4th. Ty McIntosh, Caden Tufts, David Westergreen, Cooper Johnson, Darren Staff, and Daniel Gore will be your top 10 as we will cross the start-finish stripe. The green flag waving and 12 laps to go. So right in the window of drivers looking to make their moves here, trying to get their position that they can. That's going to be exactly the window that they want to be in.
Chumbawamba on the YouTube chat saying, James and Matt, there are guys, if they can't get it done, why even try?
Asking the hard-hitting questions out here. Why even try? So the lights will come off here on the truck this time around. So it'll take another lap off of us, with put us at 11 to go when the green does drop, I do believe. Even less time here for the drivers to make their moves. We get the lane selection coming through. You mentioned that'll be Miller on the outside lane. Outside the top 10, Dylan Gooden, Kynan Jones in 12th, Carpenter in 13th. I lost it. I had it up and then I minimized it.
You lost what?
I was going to go down the rest of the top 10 through 20. All good.
Yeah.
Daniel took her there in 14th. That's the one car we saw made the strategy of trying to hold out on the first pit, but did not pan out for him. So it falls back into 14th, where he currently resides, alongside Joe Francis there in 15th. So we'll see if this one car can make up any lost ground after trying something new. Didn't work out too well. Only held up the leaders for a couple of laps before they inevitably would pass by and take the ground back. Come around here. 12 to go right now. 11 to go will be with count. And the truck dives off here onto pit road. Momentarily coming through 3 and 4. The Nashville Superspeedway Weekend Woodsman OSCA Series, the Music City 160. We got 11 laps to go here. With James Miller and Ethan Burrell on our front row, which will lead us to the restart. We wait for that Geico restart zone. Green flag is out. A good jump from the 09, but not super great. We've seen better from the field. The 44 keeps it close, but that is the 04 Matt Grunberg that's going to be able to hold him in line. Noah Brown going to jump to the outside, where Caden Tuss will follow up alongside Ty McIntosh there in the 10 car. He's got himself up to 6th place right now. So we got a little bit of friskiness going on up here. 09 and the 44 fighting for their position. The 09 does have the door closed well enough. Will hold on to the lead. Does go high to block Grunberg if there's any run that's going to be coming out of that one. But Miller driving in both lanes here to defend this lead, and is doing well enough so far, as we are 10 to go here in Nashville. Side by side here for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th place. A lot of the field still side by side, not opting to go single file, fighting for every position. Knowing this is when it all counts, because there is going to be a single-digit amount of laps here this time by. Which means there's only that much time for you to make your moves. So we got a good group here from 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. 1st and 2nd here. Got putting a little bit of a gap between them. These guys fight it out.
Look at the number 1 machine of David Tooker, as he's already back into the top 10. Knocking out the number 45 Darren Staff for the time being, as he's going to try to merc his way up to the lead. You know, I see it. I can see the stars aligning for the number 1 team.
Moving and grooving pretty good so far on the back bumper of feeling good in the 75 machine here through 1 and 2. Looker restarted 14th position before we got here, up to 9th and 10th, battling back and forth now. There's a lot of side-by-side here through the middle of the pack. On the front, you see on the 3Y TV multicam, 09 and the 44 are bumper to bumper with half a second between them and the next car's back. Doing pretty well to distance themselves from the chaos that is the rest of the field, but the top 6 right now, single file here. After that, it starts to go double wide, where things start to get interesting. Everybody fighting for their positions, trying to make the most out of their nights, getting their points together. With 7 laps to go, Gooden's going to dive low here on Ty McIntosh. 91 of Cooper Johnson goes below David Westergreen here through the corner. Doesn't have enough oomph to get through, to get clear. Will slide back up. Does not have enough to even get back up into the lane. We'll get past on the outside here. Gooden on the inside lane through 1 and 2. Inside of Ty McIntosh there, who has Tooker on the back bumper. Trying to push McIntosh through to clear past the 75 if they can. The 77 of Scarborough behind. Can't quite get to the bumper of that one. David Westergreen, handful of car lengths back, where Neil Rutt, the 66 machine, is also in the fray. I'm not sure how many laps he's down. Looks like 5 laps, it looks like. So he's just fighting for some points on this one, just to turn in some laps, turn in some points out of this. The front of the pack still holding 1 and 2, looking low, trying to get the bumper, looking for the pass for the lead. Miller on the outside. Burrell's going low on the inside. See if he can make it stick. They're door-to-door through 3 and 4. Coming out of 4. We'll see if he can make this one go. 5 laps to go. We are side by side across the stripe, fighting for the lead.
Caution's
4 laps
out
to go, and the caution is out. 66 of Neil Rutt, we just saw in the middle of traffic.
David Westergreen,
collects
too.
Another of Westergreen. And that is unfortunate, so we will find ourselves our first green-white checker attempt. Take a look at 3-Wide TV, see what collected these two cars.
If I'm not in the top 10, I'm hitting pit road now.
Couldn't tell if that was 66 coming off the wall or if the 9 is going up to it.
I mean, technically that's net code, but they would have made contact regardless. It looks like 66 hit the wall and then came down on the 9 as a reaction to hitting that wall. So that's going to bring out the caution. 6-1 of the night, I believe. Or of the half.
Of the half, had what, 2 or 3 in the first half, and a lot of incidentals that have happened. And we'll see what the strategy is going to be here, if anyone's going to bite on this one, if we're just going to ride it out through a green-white checker. Do have 2 green-white checkered attempts out of this one. Pit road is open. That's a fake out. Noah Brown does go.
Interesting. From top top 5, I think 6, I think he was.
Yeah.
To he's the only one. Darren Staff also down pit road. I kind of expected him to go down. He was kind of dropping towards the back to the drivers who did take tires. Neil Rutt, pit road. Tim Conrad, pit road. A little less takers than I really expected, but it'll be nice to see Noah Brown and Darren Staff working their way up track position here on this restart, especially if they can get another green-white checker. It's going to be 2 attempts, I believe.
Yep, 2 attempts that we do have here for this green-white checker. And we'll see once these drivers come out of pits, once we get everybody lined up, who's going to take which lanes and how well this restart's going to go. We've seen pretty good advantages from restarts so far. The last couple have been less so than the others. But everybody pretty similar on their tire wear. I would imagine after the laps that they've put on, and you start to wonder, where does fuel come into this one, if anybody's got anything, but I think most of them should be well in the green. Line them up double wide one more time around. James Miller holds on to the lead here alongside Ethan Burrell, Matt Grunberg, Caden Tufts, Dylan Tooker, Dylan Gooden, Ty McIntosh, Jake Scarborough, Cooper Johnson, and Kynan Jones are your top 10. You take a look at the leaderboard on the left side, though. 21 through 30 out. Even more than that, number 20 through 30 not participating in this one. A lot of drivers have had incidents, had issues. A lot of drivers not finishing out of half number 2. But only 16 or 17 cars really in the running for lead lap position and points out of this, as we do have the lights on the pace truck out, coming down into backstretch down through 3 and 4, looking for one more time. We'll have our restart zone here, not the Rackley restart zone as some others have fallen victim to. Pace truck is off. We are awaiting the green flag at Nashville Superspeedway for the Music City 160. Where James Miller will lead us to green. The green flag drops, and he is off. Matt Grunberg does get a good bump to stay on the back bumper and take over second place. Slide up in front of Ethan Burrell.
This is
we'll
huge.
See if we get through green flag clean.
This is huge for Team Mixture Rich, as James Miller had Ethan Burrell in his inside. They were battling for position when the caution came out. Now he's got a teammate in between them, and they're going to try to go for a 1-2 finish.
Looking for a good team finish here on the front. 75 is currently leading the 2 wide racing behind them. That is the 1 and the 00. Tooker and Caden Tufts starting to fan out a couple wide here through this one as we have a battle for the lead now. The white flag out. Down the backstretch, Matt Grunberg trying to take this position away from James Miller. Ethan Burrell on the outside That is going to be Miller that dives low, blocks off Grunberg. So Burrell on the outside lane trying to find a run out of this one with Gooden on the back. Checkered flag will drop, but who's going to take it? It's going to be the 09 of the Canuck. James Miller will collect another half victory for himself here at Nashville Superspeedway. And starting to fan out really wide there towards the end. We'll see exactly where everybody lined up on the intervals, but 4 cars there, almost 4 wide coming across the stripe. We'll check the results out of this one, but that is going to be Tim Hortons back in the victory lane for James Miller.
He's going to be a very happy man. Team owner is happy as well. 1-2 finish there. James Miller, Matt Gruenberg. Chumbawamba is probably thrilled in the YouTube live stream. Probably happy to see that they finished 1-2. But James Miller gets himself another victory here. He's gonna celebrate it here in style.
Burn it down, use those tires. There's no reason to keep and hold on to them anymore. 09 walks away with another victory here. Certainly has done very well through this season so far. Don't entirely recall where he's standing in the points, but I know he's got to be at least top 5, or not top 10. But pretty good here running that we've seen James Miller so far this season. And adding on another victory, another decal on that car. Going to be pretty happy with where he's at going into next week.
Oh, can confirm Zach Evans just hit 49 minutes on his pit road time. So Zach, get back in the car. You can probably pick up a couple spots.
Yep, you might just be able to make the cool down lap. Heartbreaker. That's funny.
Heartbreaker, yeah. Congratulations to James Miller getting a victory. Let's take a look at those that final half 2 finishing results. Pull up that bat, Larry. Why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Take a look at these guys. James Miller, of course, walking away with that checkered flag. Matt Grunberg getting a 2nd place finish. Dylan Gooden rolling all the way up to 3rd. Ethan Brell in 4th. David Tooker had a pit strategy early. Ends up with a top 5 finish there. Caden Tuss, Ty McIntosh, Jake Scarborough, Noah Brown, and Cooper Johnson will round out your top 10. Going down the line, Dave Carpenter, Joe Francis, Kynan Jones, David Westgreen, and Darren Staff cash out their top 15. Daniel Gore, points leader, having a pretty averagely mediocre night in 16th place. Neil Rutt ends up in 17th. Probably actually thankful that the late addition to the race actually got him into this position because there were so many incidents that collected so many cars. Rashid Coles in 18th, one of those cars as well that ended up in one of those incidents that got collected. We'll tab down to the rest of the standings, but everybody else that finished up after 18th place was someone that was collected in an incident, starting with Tim Conrad, Dylan Thomas, Adam Peeler, Alex Kenton, Jesse Cottrell, Thomas Capuano, Dustin Dewar, Ray Bracey, Dallas Mahan, Santiago Aguirre, Zach Evans, and James Watson will round out the field here. Of course, very early on, collecting Evans and Watson, and Santiago Aguirre as well. So early incidents knocked out a lot of fast cars, and there was unfortunately a lot more incidents than they probably were happy with, as you see up the line up to 18th place where these guys were. That's a tough night for a lot of these guys. Tough pill to swallow, but looking forward to what they can turn in next week. But again, congratulations to the 09 James Miller, who's going to walk away with that half 2 victory. And at that point, it was anybody's game based off the restart from our green-white checker. Only had 1 attempt, but we got through it, and he walks away victorious.
Yep, what a fantastic 2 sets of racing. Half number 2 had... Oh, he's back! He's on track! Oh, he's there! There he is! My boy! Yeah! Finish that race, Zach! He's not gonna get a DNF. Zach Evans getting the half number 2 Mama in Race No Quitter award. He just rolls on through. The engine's loud and blazing. Getting that race done. Zach Evans is not a quitter tonight.
Gets the cool down lap, gets credit. Yep, there you go. That's...
Oh, man. He did it. The Mad Lad actually did it. All right. On that happy note, let's go ahead and see if we can bring up any of the. You know what? Let's bring in Zach. Zach, how's the car handling right now? Do you think you have what it takes to win this race?
It's handling like Carlos. It is not good. It is dragging the ground. It's got 5 minutes old. I don't even get the spot for it. I was curious. I was definitely doing some bug testing for iRacing, but I'm still behind Santiago in the final running order. That's fine. I don't care.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I'm glad you got the car fixed in time to get at least shown on the broadcast one more time. But just very quickly, how was the race for you? How were both races for you?
You know, first half was a lot of fun. I felt better from the practices during the week. I thought my car would be better under the lights, and I was really looking forward to half two. And we made it about a mile, and then that was the end of that. Obviously, there was the incident ahead there, a little bit in that code, a little bit 3 wide, and I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and that took care of that. But yeah, that's racing sometimes, I guess.
All right. Well, before we let you go, do you have any shout outs you want to give out?
Yeah, obviously, Neil for giving me the shot in this 6 car for Binks Designs Racing this season. Binks Designs, JD's, 99 Smiles Me Fine. Y'all for putting on the broadcasts, and Vic for organizing this deal, and we'll try again next time at Eldora.
All right. Thank you so much, Zach. Go out there and see if you can get any more spots.
Yeah, I'll see.
All right. That was Zach Evans finishing nearly last in 29th place for half number 2. I actually did write nearly last, but he has his own like sponsors override. So would have been fun. All right, let's see if we can bring up your half 1 winner, David Tooker. If he is in the... Actually, he's not in here. Well, let's bring up third place finisher. I'm going to shoot David a message, see if he wants to get in there. Let's bring up Dylan Gooden. I think he was either your pick or Vic's pick. So he was somebody's pick.
Wasn't mine. I think I had Gooden last week, who ended up with the top 3 finish after sneaking through an incident here, but ends up with another podium finish here this week. Dylan Gooden brought yourself to another solid position. How was that track for you in that first half? Obviously, a lot of change in the second half, but what was it that worked so well for you in half 1?
I actually got third in half 2, not to be.
Oh, it's half 2. All right, well, that's cool then.
You're fine. Well, I was okay in the first half. We forgot to take fuel in the last stop, and we got too tight, and we were bad. So we'll ignore that. Half 2, I mean, we avoided some wrecks, and got in it. I was trying to make it on fuel the whole way. Well, not the whole way, but I was going to try to make it on fuel after that second caution, and we couldn't do that because another caution came out. We just decided to take tires at the most opportune time and drove through the field. I mean, that's really it. I think we were probably a 7th place car otherwise, but strategy
paying off. Obviously had a lot of strategy that these drivers were opting for, but being able to put yourself here up into third place in this one, coming now with back-to-back podium finishes in 2 different races. Is this the start of some momentum here? You finally got something figured out, or what's the future look like for you in the 75 machine?
Yeah, we've had a kind of a rough start to the season. It feels like every time I have a good half, we wreck the second half, or if we have a bad first half, we wreck the other one. It's whatever. I mean, it's just about trying to be consistent, putting yourself in the best position, and doing what you can. We're not in a great point spot. Hopefully tonight will help a little bit. 2 podiums in a row. I'm very happy with that. But we just need to be more consistent to try to get ourselves in the playoff position, and I think we can do that.
Understandably so. There's got to be some coincidental universe thing that lined up. Wood Brothers gets their 100th win in NASCAR. You consistently rocking the Wood Brothers paint scheme. So I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but there might be something there that's helping you out along the way. You got any shout outs for anybody you want to thank for getting you here to this point?
Of course, yeah. I got the spirit of John Wood riding with me. But anyway, shout out to all the boys at South Shore Racing. I appreciate them, T West and all the guys. They've really decided to put their faith in me to drive one of their cars, and I appreciate that. Castle Motors, your friend in the car business in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. get a hold of Landon if you want to buy a used car. My own YouTube channel, DGooden24, check that out. We just got the new World of Outlaws game dropped today. You can watch that if you want after this. And shout out to my loving wife, Addie, who is probably not watching because she's asleep, but I love you anyways.
A wholesome moment there. Of course, doing good and walking away with third place finish in this second half, as I was so gracefully corrected. Sometimes, paying attention's hard. And no, you're good. That's what you're here for, is to make sure that I'm paying attention, and clearly I'm not. But congratulations again on your third place finish here in Nashville Super Speedway, and wish you the best of luck here in the next races coming up.
Thank you.
Going good in there. Our podium finisher from second half of Music City 160. All right, Carlos, that's one down. Who's up next? Who you feeding me?
We still don't see half one winner, so hopefully you can get on. If not, that's fine. We can move on. Let's see if we can get second place finisher Matt Gruenberg, teammate to tonight's race, our half number 2 winner. Go ahead, take it away.
Matt Gruenberg here in the podium, second place. Pretty good finish out of that one. Obviously, a lot of chaos that happened. They're second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, all fighting for position in those last few laps after that green-white checker. What was it like driving through in such a competitive spot there with those other 3 or 4 drivers fighting for a top 3 finish?
Yeah, it was definitely tough out there. Fortunately, I was able to work with teammate James there on the restarts and able to get pretty good track position and then give Ethan a run for his money there. So that benefited James, and was able to hold him off for a second. So it worked out for us to pull off the 1-2 finish.
Seems like you had a pretty good run there in the first half as well. What was the difference for you between half 1 and half 2 that let you get up here and finish up in second place?
Yeah, half 2 was a lot more eventful than half 1. I got 4X on both of the halves. I don't know if it registered as any contact on the first half when that wreck happened up front and the car bounced off the wall. But I think the car was driving okay, and it didn't say I had any damage on the first half. So fortunately, I was able to just kind of hang out up front and end up with a good finish there at the end on the first half. And then the second half kind of had a little bit more eventful with the wrecks that happened up ahead, and ended up on my end driving underneath a car that had hit the wall and was up in the catch fence and flipping in the air. And then I think then the second wreck ended up just tapping one of the other cars on bumper to bumper, which actually ended up giving us a little bit of damage, had about 29 seconds worth of damage. So don't really know how much that affected the car in the second half, but obviously we were able to get P2 with it, so we'll take that.
P2 here in Nashville, trying to build up something working for you here. Are you coming back next week with us?
Yeah, I'm planning on coming back for Eldora next week. Don't know what car I'll be driving, but I would like to come back for Eldora pending childbirth. My wife and I are,
pretty important thing.
My wife and I are expecting a little one here soon, so could be any day now. So I guess depending on that, we'll see.
Well, wish you and the missus the best of luck there in that one. Of course, pretty big, significant life changes, and congratulations on that as well. And congratulations here for your podium finish. You got any shout-outs for anybody you want to thank for tonight?
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to thank just everybody that's watching the stream, all the fans, and Team Mixture Rich for allowing me to fill in this week, and Matt Hackathorn for allowing me to drive his car. It was a lot of fun, and hopefully they have me back.
We'd love to see you back, especially after having such a good night here in Nashville. Eckrenberg joining us after a second place finish there in half number 2. Just down the road from me, even in Joplin. I'm so sorry that you live in Joplin, but hey, you know what? You can't always be a winner. That's a tough break. But congratulations nonetheless after a second place finish out of this. And now moving on into next week, hopefully we'll see another Matt in the 04, depending on which Matt it is. We don't know. But Carlos, that's 2. Spoon feed me a third one. Who's it going to be?
Go ahead. Let's go ahead and see if we can bring in tonight's half number 2 winner, James Miller. Here he is.
James Miller sponsoring our Tim Hortons 09 machine that walked away with the first place finish in half number 2. A very close competition, of course, biting the nails with the green-white checker there. What's the emotions running through your mind looking down a green-white checker in half 2?
Well, I don't know. It was a lot better once I knew I would line up where I could line up with my teammate behind me. I felt better. If I wasn't able to, it might have been a bit different because obviously Matt did kind of fight me for it at the end, but I wasn't too relieved, but it was kind of like, man, can't we just get this thing over with? But,
Understandable there, especially with a lot of the things that have been happening there on the track in the middle of the pack as well. What was it? Was there a noticeable difference of driving? I mean, did it really feel like there was a lot of server-related contact going through traffic?
well, I'd have to look at a replay for me personally. I know in practice I had a bit of a netcode incident, but I mean we had that at Atlanta too. But I don't know because I think I rubbed doors with the 77, and then I almost got hooked with the 65, and it felt pretty normal. So I don't know. You know, it's tough when it's all network based. Hard to get a good connection with anything really. I think iRacing does a really good job with it. Seeing as we're all over the world racing each other. So no, I mean, first half sucked. Got my hood torn off. And then it was a complete flip-flop with everyone wrecking in front of me. I just bided my time, and eventually I was top 10 without doing anything, and it all just played out somehow. Just did every strategy correct, and cautions fell right, and had a great car that once the sun went down, that setup came alive. It was wicked tight in the first heat. I just couldn't really rotate the center, and man, did it roll good in that second one. So happy about that. Happy we got another win. It's been a while. Keep finishing like good in one heat, terrible in the next. I need to work on that.
Yeah, try to find that consistency to come through from one to the next, especially when you have such significant track changes like we did today from a daytime to a nighttime event. But you mentioned the handling changing over from one to the next. Obviously, it freed up for you to be able to get yourself into that position, biding your time out of this one. Walking away with a half 2 finish here, of course, looking to build some momentum on this victory going into next week. What's your preparation? What's your strategy like?
Well, if you were to ask me any other time, Eldora seems like a great place. Now, I've never raced Xfinity car there, but I've done trucks, and usually it's pole, lead every lap, win in the league. But this time, you know, I have a slight probation, and I want to keep everything on the good side. So I might have to ride around the back because that's kind of a free-for-all. Not much grip there. Easy to make mistakes. So not sure how much leniency we'll have with race control. But yeah, I mean, I just need to get more consistent with both halves. So if we can just ride around the back and gain spots from people wrecking and maybe top 10 both, I think that's better than wrecking out in one and finishing top 5 in the other and then getting penalty points for something silly on my part. So we'll just take it easy because a lot riding on it for me and my team. So yeah, try to keep it clean for sure.
Play it smart, play it safe. Sounds good to me. Anybody you want to shout out real quick here before we let you go?
Yeah, just a huge shout out to Team Mixer Rich with Cam Rich and Matt Hackathorn for the opportunity and the ride, and thanks to Grunberg there for not dumping me at the end. It was fun battling him, and I gotta point out again, it's like Indianapolis all over again. Me racing Ethan at the end. That was fun. That was a fun battle. He gave me the bump this time, but it almost helped me. So I like it. I hope to race with him some more.
Good racing, start to finish. Got yourself the half 2 victory there. Was able to hold off Ethan at the end, but especially with your teammate alongside. A 1-2 finish there for the team. Feeling pretty good. James Miller walking away with the checkered flag in half number 2 of Nashville Super Speedway. Thanks again for joining us here tonight. And Carlos, we got anybody else, or is this going to be where we wrap it?
Let me take one last look. I think that's going to be where we wrap it tonight. Thank you so much, James. And, well, that's going to do it for us here. Another fantastic race week done and in the books. And I'm looking forward to Eldora. That's going to be another fun race.
Another fun race for us next week at Eldora, as you mentioned. Thank you so much for joining us. We wish you all the best. Have a good night, as that concludes the 3Wide TV, the Weekend Woodsman OSCA series at Nashville Super Speedway, the Music City 160, done and dusted. We'll see you next week at Eldora.